Thank you so much for still being with us here on Morning at NTV. As Uganda continues to position itself as one of Africa's fastest growing tourism destinations, a familiar challenge has returned to test the sector's resilience. The recent Ebola outbreak in parts of the Democratic Republic Congo and of course the unique cases to the Ugandan side have once again raised concerns about travel safety, cross-border movement and visitor confidence. Yet tourists are insisting that Uganda remains open. The tourism sector is also saying Uganda should be open. In fact, right now as we're speaking, we're having one of the biggest tourism expo in East Africa happening right now. And so you do have people coming from all over the world to participate in this expo. So this is coming at a time when our story of tourism is changing. We've been able to gradually and successfully recover from the pandemic of COVID-19. And now as the tourism sector is expanding into culture, into adventure tourism, into faith, into sports tourism, into meetings and conferences, domestic travel, as well as destination branding. The question now is whether the country can actually sustain the tourism growth that we've been projecting and seeing while managing the public health concerns and, of course, the global competition that we must be awake to. So in our business update this morning, we are exploring how Uganda's tourism sector is resilient, showing resilience enough to actually grow against the tide amid the health alerts that we're seeing right now, and what more is needed to actually unlock the full potential of this sector. Joining me is Duncan Wandera, who is from Lafang Eco Resort. This is a hidden gem in the heart of Lake Victoria. Duncan, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay, first tell us more as one who is directly involved in the tourism sector. First, talk to us about the recovery journey that the sector has done post-COVID-19.
First of all, let me fully introduce myself again. My name is Duncan Wandera. I am the General Manager of Lafang Eco Resort. Lafang Eco Resort is located in the middle of the lake. It's an island, and it's in Namengo district. That is the southeastern part of Uganda. We are privileged as a resort, first of all, thanks to the government, under the leadership of His Excellency the President, to have provided us with a ferry. Initially, it was very difficult even to access that island, but the government has been very helpful and provided us with a ferry. At Lafang Eco Resort, also, we have key values which are revolved around the tourism sector, and key among the values is this sustainability. Mm-hmm. So under sustainability, we after that visibility study, we come up with this kind of values. Number one was the ecosystem. When our founders went around, they found out that the ecosystem was kind of degraded. So we had to do something about that. Then there was community intervention. So which also we have come into it and we're doing something about it. Then the education, both professionally and the local. Then we realized, as much as it's a fishing island, we realized there was no accommodation whatsoever. Even then, when they went there for the initial survey studies and all that, they didn't even have a place to sleep. Okay. And they didn't even have a place to eat. So we figured out, if we are to make this a tourist destination, what are we supposed to do, like, immediately? So we had to act very fast, and that's how the fund came in. As you're speaking right now, we are proud to tell you that the influx of tourists and other stakeholders has increased since last year because of the kind of interventions we put in place. Yes. All
right. Speaking of interventions, Ebola is here, and it's definitely already causing alarm on the global scene. We do have the United States and other global powers already issuing travel advisory, yet we're getting into the peak season. So many people are coming for tourism in Africa. What interventions are you actually putting in place right now?
I must appreciate the Ministry of Health. They have really come up with some guidelines that actually we are going to put in place also. Being an island, And being an island whereby we have influx, people coming from everywhere, maybe from Tanzania, from Kenya. So I'm very sure we are going to put in certain guidelines to control that. And being an island is a little bit easier for us. It's not like a city. We have all the entry points, so we can put some kind of restrictions on those entry points to protect our people on the island. That one, I think, in collaboration with the community itself, we are going to make it work. Yes, ma'am.
One of the things that usually slaps the tourism sector harder is not the outbreak of Ebola itself, such as the case of today, but the fear that comes with the headlines, the misinformation and the disinformation that goes out there. How are you managing and working around it to ensure that people maybe who had booked with you, who had reserved with you, actually get to fulfill their commitments without having to cancel or forward?
Number one, that's why I'm here. I want to assure our people that the island is very safe. I am from the island myself. I've gone through the medical tests myself. We are not using a lot of protection or anything. Thinking about Ebola, but we are safe. And we have no cases that have been reported on the island. So I'm assuring our people, our guests, our visitors, just to come.
Okay.
Yeah.
Assurance is one thing. What practical steps are you taking to reassure your tourists and the business community that they are protected?
Yeah, we're working alongside the Ministry of Health, and we're putting all the necessary guidelines and making sure anybody coming to the island, right from the mainland, will be screened. Okay, and even for the visitors who are coming in, maybe from the international community, we are assuring them that we put all measures in place. Even on the island itself, we are putting all the medical preventive measures to make sure that nothing like that can spread on the island. So I'm assuring them that they need to come. No problem about that.
Okay.
Yes.
At the end of the day, in all of this, communication is key. Should Uganda be doing more proactive communication to counter the misinformation that is on the market right now, if it is to hinder or to manage what would translate into tourism panic?
First of all, to begin with, I'm not so sure because we only had about one case, maybe now two. I don't think that should have contributed to a serious panic. Those could be isolated cases. Somebody can come in when he's sick. And like I was reading in the papers the other day, the Minister of Health
the panic is there because there's a global news agency, Fox News, that put out information that has caused panic, saying that there's a doctor who is from Uganda had to be diverted to Czech Republic. You also do have the US now having a travel advisory. People who were intending to come are restricted from coming, and they're being stopped at the airport from coming. And then people who should be going back into the United States have to be quarantined of up to 28 days before they can be reintegrated back into the country.
Yeah, I think what you're going to do is maybe right when I go back, we need to have a communication with the Minister of Tourism so that we work around that particular issue, so that we come up with one way of assuring our people that all is well. So together, the Minister of Health and Tourism will have to collaborate, and maybe other associations that are involved in the same sector, like the hotel associations and all that, so that we have a page that can assure people that they are safe and they can come.
Speaking of assurance, Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo opened up yesterday, and we did have President Museveni doing the official opening. It's bringing together investors, it's bringing together tour operators, destination marketeers, hoteliers, and all the other elements that give you a holistic tourism experience in Uganda. For viewers who are not fully understanding of its significance, what is the significance of Powate to our country's tourism economy, beyond the exhibition, beyond the speeches?
First of all, it's the economy. It brings a lot on the table for Uganda. It puts Uganda on the clear map of the global economy. So Powate, as it is, it has opened so many doors to everybody. Not only tourism sector. There are so many brands that are there are so many companies that are benefiting through their selling their brands on Poate. So to Uganda, I think because people come from various countries, very far, and they have all come to Uganda. Number one, I think economically it's very much viable. Number two, it markets Uganda as a destination, and part of that benefit that you get as Uganda. Now, people like us, we are able to showcase what we have and what Uganda is all about. Like I've told you, Lafang Eco Resort is in the middle of almost nowhere. It's a gem because that's an ecological island that was never discovered anywhere. We are only trying to put it on the map right now. And Poate has given us that platform. So we are really showcased, and we are still doing that all the way up to Saturday to make sure people realize who we are. And even we have some of the goals that you're aiming at is to in investors who are supposed to come to where? To Dolwe Island. Invest in various things, the malls, the petrol stations, the whatever, even other hospitality facilities. Although Dolwe is under the Ministry of Tourism. It's an ecological site, and whoever comes in as an investor has to come in responsibly. We just don't allow people coming to put in skyscrapers and what, and distort the entire system. No, we'll have to have a good talk, whoever the investor is, because even as what we have done is we didn't interfere with the ecosystem of the island. Even when we were putting up our buildings, we were very careful where we were putting our buildings because most of them are cottages and all that. But we have preserved the natural beings that were there. Like the indigenous trees, we never cut them down. The rocks, we left them where they are. We've just gone and worked things around all that. So we have preserved the system.
Okay, speaking of the system, Uganda as a country have recorded 1.6 million international visitors arriving in 2025 alone, generating about 5.8 trillion Ugandan shillings.
Sure.
And so that's a boost in terms of earnings, reflecting a strong post-pandemic rebound. However, I think the bigger question is in comparison to oil and gas that are contributing to the national coffer, and agriculture still remains strong. You do have tourism having an economic competitive advantage. What's the issue? Is it an investment gap or a policy gap?
To me, it's going to be a policy gap. As a country, I think we need to concentrate more and sell our country under the tourism sector more than what we're doing right now. Yes, the improvement is there from last year, but the margin is not very big. So I think we just need, as stakeholders, we need to sit down maybe with the government in the relevant ministries, and maybe work something around that so that we can compete these other sectors that are doing better than the tourism sector. So we really need to do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Dakan, as we close this conversation, I know that you have your call to action to the different stakeholders, just so to bring a message of reassurance that tourism is alive against all odds.
To me, tourism is life. Yeah, and tourism is alive. People have to test different environments in life. And if we showcase our things right, or if we position ourselves right, tourism is the best thing that should ever happen to our country. People are coming from all the way from Europe, people are coming from Scandinavian countries, people are coming from America, just to sample what other places are. So we really need to showcase our things as tourism and let people know exactly who we are.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Duncan Wandera, thank you so much for being with us. And of course, at the end of the day, there's reassurance from those that are invested in tourism. There's reassurance from the Ministry of Health, and there is a full reassurance from the government. And so at the end of the day, everything is in order for you to enjoy this weekend at any of your tourist destinations as a local tourist. We take a short breather. We return shortly to stay with us.